Hello and welcome to the WIHS Journal, Public Affairs from 104.9. I'm Paul Kretschmer. This is the first of 2 days of conversation with Derek K. Baker, the principal of DKB and Associates Limited, a full-service public relations, marketing, communications, and editorial services consultancy that provides integrated and specialized services to nonprofit, municipal, corporate, educational, recreational, and small business clients.
Absolutely. My name is Derek Baker. I'm the president of Dickerson Baker and Associates, and we're a nonprofit consulting firm that works with nonprofit organizations all over the country.
Okay, and what would you like to focus on today that listeners can take away from and act upon?
Conservative powerhouse, the Heritage Foundation, is partnering with national fundraising firm Dickerson Baker to enhance member outreach and supercharge its membership growth.
Okay, is that leading into the first question then? Is that something that your firm normally does for organizations that come from different political perspectives?
Yeah, we work with organizations all across all across kind of the nonprofit spectrum, but we are aligned with the Heritage Foundation. I think I am as the owner and principal of the firm, and many of our team members are, and so it's kind of exciting for us to have the opportunity to work directly with them to help kind of grow their base.
How often does an organization approach someone like you to engage in that kind of work? It seems like there are many organizations that are trying to polish their image before the public at the current time.
Yeah, so a lot of organizations have relationships with firms that help them with fundraising in a variety of different capacities. The previous firm that was working with the Heritage Foundation had been working with them for close to 40 years when when Heritage Foundation decided to make a switch. So it doesn't happen that often that organizations change, but many organizations do have kind of a consulting partner, outside advisors that work with them to help them with their fundraising.
From your perspective, is that more likely or less likely than simply a commercial account that manufactures something and maybe hasn't been very happy about the sales response or the receptiveness from the public for a product as opposed to an ideological perspective?
Yeah, so I think you have to be aligned, obviously, with an organization. We find that when we're working with an organization, we need to have, it's helpful to have alignment with them to, in a large degree, we're helping craft kind of their narrative and how they approach and their supporters. And so I think it's really important that the folks that you partner with to do that are, able to speak on your behalf and help you kind of craft how to approach folks, how to engage with folks to get them more involved and giving it a higher level.
Would you characterize your type of work as similar to a mainstream large commercial advertising agency or more like a boutique operation?
Yeah, probably somewhere in between. In a lot of ways, what we do is similar to what an ad agency would do for a commercial organization. It's really helping them kind of craft how to talk to their customers in a sense. And so, for Heritage Foundation, their key stakeholders, are their members and their supporters. And so, we help them do surveys and gain kind of a good understanding of what people are thinking and the direction, and then we help them kind of, it's really a two-way communication thing, but it is, I think, similar in some respect, what we do as in what an ad agency would do for a for-profit corporation. As far as our firm, we're kind of in between kind of the boutique and the large. We're somewhat selective. We have about 40 full-time team members on our staff. Work nationally. We have the capacity to work with large organizations, but we kind of pick and choose somewhat as well who we're going to work with.
I was wondering among the factors you might look at when you're making an initial examination of an outfit that you're considering representing in that way, or that they're considering taking you on? Because I've thought of outfits like the Heritage Foundation or maybe the Brookings Institute as think tanks, and frankly, to my own personal mind, it's a little bit difficult for my brain to wrap it around the concept of what is a think tank and how do you promote it. Do you take it from that perspective, or would you characterize or define your clients in a different way, which perhaps might make it easier for a mind like mine to wrap itself around?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a good question. Every organization has its mission, right, and what they're trying to accomplish. And Heritage is really, centered around public policy and some of those kind of key values that they have about, America, the way the country and the society will flourish. And so, they're not just a think tank. It's not just a bunch of guys in bow ties sitting around a table and coming up with ideas, right? They're also, advocating for these policies, working on, right, developing programs in educational institutions and helping to, develop future leaders and so there's a lot that happens, but every organization kind of has a different mission that they want to accomplish. It's whether you're a rescue mission or a Salvation Army helping homeless folks on the street, or you're the Heritage Foundation that has more of a public policy and agenda. But all of it requires money. So money's kind of the fuel, right? We call it the lifeblood of mission. If particularly for those organizations that don't have funds coming in through, universities have tuition money, hospitals have insurance, payments and reimbursements. Organizations like Heritage Foundation rely on private support, rely on people kind of coming alongside and partnering with them. And so it's really important that they, do a good job of communicating with those folks and engaging with those folks to keep that partnership strong.
Well, as it happens, the radio station I represent is a nonprofit organization and depends on listener support, similar to public broadcasting, but on the private sector entirely, with no federal funding requested or received whatsoever. Just to use my own newsroom parent as an example, thinking off the top of our heads, perhaps, if you were to look at this little radio station in Middletown, Connecticut, as a possible partner for a variety of reasons, what would you be looking at or asking about the people I work for, just to try to gauge an understanding of who we are and what you possibly might be able to do for us in the way that you work with clients?
Yeah, good question. We usually start trying to learn about kind of what you're trying to accomplish. What are your values? What's your vision? What are you trying to accomplish? And then we also try to get a sense of who are you trying to reach? Who's your audience? Who are you trying to reach?
That's the first portion of my two-part series with Derek Baker, an award-winning annual report writer and voiceover talent. Baker, for almost 20 years, authored a nationally syndicated column. He has edited several books written by Chicago-area authors, as well as authored major policy speeches for corporate and nonprofit executives and entrepreneurs. He's managed the public relations, collateral, sponsorship, and marketing needs on time and within budget for dozens of special events, including fundraising galas, professional workshops, and national conferences for a host of clients. His specialty is listed as media relations, publication management and design production, speech and script writing, editing and proofreading, branding strategies, and special event management. If you'd like to know more about this guest for today's broadcast, call us at 860-346-1049, 860-346-1049, or you can email us, office@wihsradio.org. That's office@wihsradio.org. The opinions expressed are those of the participants, not necessarily those of the staff or management of the station. Mr. Baker will be back tomorrow. I'm Paul Kretschmer for the WIHS Journal, Public Affairs from 104.9 WIHS.